Good afternoon in India, good morning in London. This is Abhijit Nandi Majumdar for ANM News, and we all welcome you here on a very, very crucial day as we carry out our battle against coronavirus. All locked down all over the world, various kinds of information trickling in from various parts. We attended a WHO press conference on Friday, where Dr. Tedros told me very categorically that you have a very, very long haul ahead. Now, England has taken the first step. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has mentioned that we eased lockdown to a certain extent. He has allowed couples to meet in parks, albeit a 2-meter social distance. He has allowed schools to reopen from June. Primary schools to reopen from June, and he has also vaguely allowed people to return to work. Those who cannot stay at home and work, they can go back to work. Public transport has started, and we got visuals of the London Underground, very, very crowded. We got visuals of traffic in London, bumper to bumper, and now the whole world is looking towards England. So is it a step in haste, or is it a step in the right direction? We have with us Mr. Virender Sharma, MP, a very, very senior political leader of England. He's an MP from Ealing Southall, a Labour Party MP from England. Welcome to ANM News, Mr. Sharma.
Good morning, and thank you very much. I'm a British Member of Parliament, but I was born in India, and you can say British Indian Member of Parliament.
Absolutely, absolutely. And very first thing that on behalf of ANM News and on behalf of everybody in our family here at ANM News and India, we wish you to stay safe, sound, and absolutely secure.
Thank you very much. I need all those wishes to carry on.
So, Mr. Sharma, the first step is this what Prime Minister Johnson announced, a step in the right direction?
I mean, it's always very difficult. Somebody in a position who is going to implement and give the directions to the nation has to be clear. Everybody believes that we need to look at how quickly, how soon, how safe we can unlock this position. However, we believe that it was a decision taken in haste, not taken people into confidence, not giving the clear directions and the steps, what is going to be happen and how it should be implemented. All these ideas that you can be 2 meters away, you can meet in the park, is not practical. It's not going to happen. People are not going to believe in that unless you give the very clear directions. Transport, don't use the transport. You yourself said. He said, try to avoid public transport. How are you going to get to work? On one side, you are asking people to go to work. Work is not on the next door. It's not on the 200 yards away from your household. So it's miles and miles away. Are you telling the people to get up in the 4 o'clock to start your shift 8 o'clock? Walk to your workplace? So all these questions are unanswered. He believes, and we believe, he's going to give a parliamentary statement today, after 2:30. There's going to be a booklet, 50-page booklet released today. What's going to happen? Why he did not announce this misguided information? Why he did not give this wrong impression and waited until that 50-page book is out? Does he believe that everybody will read that book? Where the book will be available? To whom it will be available? All these questions are unanswered and confused. As you said that the tubes were overbooked, public transport was abused at this stage. It's not abused, it's panic. People wanted to go to work. You are instructed or given this impression that everything is okay. So I believe that it's the failure of the government at this stage rushing into it. We are not saying it should not happen, but it need to be planned in a way where people also understand and cooperate with you. At this stage, I believe and I feel it that most of people will be ill-informed on this and then get out, and then we are going to have the second phase of this disease.
Mr. Sharma, another thing that he has announced, which we heard him say last night's in the televised address, was that he's going to allow sunbathing. The sunbathing, but then he's also imposed a very steep fine on beach who does not follow the rules in the beach. So what does this exactly mean? There's a bit of an ambiguity here. So what does that exactly mean?
Last night, all his statement, whatever he said from the beginning to the end, is vague, not properly, clearly advised. When I was asked here this last night and this morning before I came with you, that I'm saying that wait until this parliamentary statement, which will be more detailed. There will be a lot of questions raised this afternoon by the leader of the opposition, as well as many backbencher MPs. Possibly I get a chance to ask the question as well. But if not, still there will be a lot of questions asked, and the position will be more clearer. At this stage, all this kind of thing, that which beach will be safe, how you will believe that it's only one person staying there, when the next person is walking nearby you, are you going to say, move away from me? So all these kind of questions are unanswered at this stage, very vague, ambiguous, and the people are confused. People are questioning the present Prime Minister's political and general judgment, that how he sees the future under the present position, and also has he learned from the other countries what steps they have taken and how they managed all this situation.
Absolutely, Mr. Sharma. Now, you've been a very seasoned politician, a very senior parliamentarian. Now, what is your prescription of moving away, easing of lockdown, or getting out of lockdown, or getting out of this scenario?
I believe that he has to put the system in place first. Medical equipment needed, the resources needed to protect the public be in place first. He has to get all those masks, PPE equipments, all the other medicine available, made it available to those institutions need, National Health Service, care homes, public transport people, and others who are on the frontline staff. It needs to be prepared first. If that resource is not in place, he should not encourage people to get out. Secondly, the police force. Do you have enough police force to implement or enforce whatever the actions you are suggesting? That all is not in place. You don't have enough resources to man it. So first you need to have that, and to say, look, okay, if this situation happened, we have enough resources. He missed that opportunity before, and he's missing the opportunity now. And that's why a lot of people are very, very concerned that how it is going to happen next. I have gone through this dilemma. I was admitted into the hospital. I was there for a week. I have been in isolation and I know how scary it is. I know that when you go to the hospital, when the nurses comes and say to you, as a member of parliament, and I was jokingly saying I'm a patient, not a member of parliament at this stage, they are asking you that can we get the resources? You are asking the voluntary sector, civic societies to support us in this matter because you don't have it. Why? Such an advanced NHS don't have those resources in place. It's a failure. It's not. that is not available. It's a failure to plan it properly. So before you encourage people to go out, you need to plan all these things. Make sure that if it happens, we have the precautions on that side. So that's where I still don't believe it's going to happen. It's people going to stay away at home. And this whole idea of that people should come out and we should unlock this lockdown, I believe it is a long time to go, and we should not rush into it. Take it into the stages, but make sure all those resources needed are in place.
Absolutely. Now, when we had a unofficial talk with the conservatives, and they were mentioning that the economy was a major factor, a major influence in taking this decision. They mentioned that Brexit has really bleeded a little bit the economy in England, and on top of that, coronavirus has taken the rest of it. So it's very important that people go back to work to get the economy rolling. So do you subscribe to that?
No, everybody believes it. I mean, it's not, this is not the party line. If we were in power, we would have make sure that the economy is booming, people are looked after, we take the people out of the poverty, our skills, our knowledge is advanced, our schools are open, we would have done that. But because it's a failure, initially not taking that very seriously, now you don't have the resources, you are pushing the people out into the streets, to saying that you go out, it will be all okay, but you do ABC. To take that ABC forward, they don't have the resources. It's a fear in the minds. You don't have any medicine yet. You have not available enough masks and or gloves and other equipments you need. You don't have any. On one side, you say, look, we don't have. One, like it's inviting people to your house for the dinner and saying, come to my house, but we don't have the food. Then why are you asking them to come for the dinner? You ask them to come for the social visit rather than the dinner. This way, you are telling people to go out, make sure that you avoid it, vigilant. How you can be vigilant? Are you going to go to work before you get on the bus and say, look, is there any enough seats available? Is that is not a distance is observed? If not, then I wait for the next bus. How are you going to go to the work? Everybody is not a bike rider. Everybody is not a walker. But if it's a next door job, if you are only 5 minutes away from your house, you walk to the workplace. I'm a member of parliament. Throughout my life, I always use the public transport. How I'm going to go to the parliament? If I'm not asked to, if I'm told, try to go walk to the parliament. It's 20 miles. I can't walk 20 miles to the parliament, or I can walk, but I have to leave 2 o'clock in the morning. Possible I get there afternoon.
True.
So all these things are not considered. Everybody wants the economy to boost. We wanted everybody to come back to a normal life, working life, business life, social life. We want that. But we are also saying that before we go into that direction, we need to have all the precautions and the system in place. At the present, system is not in place. Resources are not available. Until that is available, I don't think that the people should be encouraged to go out. And the Prime Minister must make a very clear statement. Where people are suffering, they need to be told how long you're going to suffer before we got all those resources in place. It's a lot of questions to be asked today, and Prime Minister has to answer. And nobody in the real mind and good mind of state will be saying that we should not be encouraging people to come back onto the proper system to run the country properly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Moving on to a little bit, how is Southall? How is your area now? What is the situation in your area at the moment? Are people feeling a little relaxed or raring to go? What is the ground situation in your area?
I think that people are getting frustrated, sitting at home, and I'm always take it in a bit humorous way that even the families are getting to seeing each other for that long. Where you used to see each other for few hours, now you are seeing for 24 hours. I'm living in a joint family with my grandchildren. It's nice to be with them, but then there's no space for you to go through what other activities you are doing. It depends on your own life, working life, social life. In political life, then there's the different ways you working. You wanted to keep in touch with your electorates, and people wanted to keep in touch with their relatives and other friends. So I think it's a frustration is coming, and throughout the country. My constituency in generally cooperating. I have lost few very dear friends due to the coronavirus, which is sad that you can't go to the funerals even. You can't pay the last respect to your loved ones, which is very hurtful, painful, mentally stressed. Mental health issues are rising up. Domestic violence is increasing in all, not only with the Indian families or Asian families, every family. Is a domestic violence is an increase. So Prime Minister is slow in addressing all those issues. The government in general is very slow. And I think that it's not a local, one political question. It's a national and international issue. So there should be the national, you can say, government, opposition parties should be involved in decision making. Prime Minister should invite them to take all the decisions together. Once it is together, then those questions which will be asked today in the parliament could have asked and addressed before it is coming out, if all the political parties were involved in the decision making. So I think it's a national crisis. It's an international crisis, but for Britain, it's a British national crisis. All the British people should be involved in it, and in a democratic system, it is the political parties who come together to represent the whole nation. So I think the government need to rethink on their strategy and the future planning to overcome all these issues so that we can become again very economically strong, socially strong, and giving the international lead onto the future issues.
Very, very correct. Very aptly said, Mr. Sharma. You have really summed it up very well. If you are propagating our take it easy, safety first policy, do not push it, do not hasten the process, go slow. Safety and saving lives is a top priority. Economic comeback will be a reality if lives are saved. And it's an international crisis and a national crisis for England. And entire opposition and the ruling party should come together, be together. Prime Minister should consult the opposition to build up a consensus before taking any decision. That's exactly what you're saying, if I'm correct, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. You are a journalist, I'm a politician. That's the difference.
Absolutely. I have one last thing that's coming up right now. It says that Heathrow Airport is shut. Now, international travel is also shut, but Heathrow Airport, what are the chances of it being reopened? Because it's very close to your constituency. What are the chances of Heathrow Airport reopening in near future? And Heathrow Airport authorities have called for a shorter quarantine period for people coming in from outside. So, do you think it is a possibility?
Yeah, I think the government has announced that many international flights will be coming through. To do that, they can't take the international flights to the smaller airports. They have to open it. And I'm quite confident that they will open it very soon because a lot of people are now coming through. Other airports cannot manage it. But I don't know the timing at this stage. That could be the question. Another question will be asked in the parliament, that how you're going to manage the international travelers coming, because now from India, the flights are starting, charter flights to London. British Airways also picking up the British national standard. They're bringing the people to London. How they're going to be medically checked? Do you have, again, my question comes back, do you have enough resources to, when the international travelers or the travelers from overseas comes, not the visitors at this stage because nobody wanted to travel and take a risk. They're coming. What kind of the checkups you doing? Do you have enough skilled, qualified staff? It's not that anybody can test somebody coming through. You need to have those skills. If you are going into the hospital, do you have enough nurses there to cope with the situation? You only take those people in once you have the resources here. If you don't have those resources here, I don't think they should rush. And I don't think that it will be Heathrow or other airports will be just open for everybody. It will be open with the very clear guidelines, and to see how many people will pass through, so that it is observed. All the precautions are observed. So it will be wait and see situation. And I'm sure that this afternoon we will have some more clarification from the Prime Minister in the Parliament.
Absolutely. So the afternoon's Prime Minister address is very, very crucial. We'll have more clarifications from the Prime Minister. I've got a lot of questions to put to the Prime Minister. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Sharma. We really, really appreciate it. And our viewers grew by the minute the moment we started speaking to you. And everybody, you have addressed the issue very, very conclusively. And it was very clear, crystal clear. Your points were very crystal clear. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you very much. And we'll come back to you once again later for more updates on this issue when required. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sharma. Namaskar.
Thank you very much. Stay safe.